sorry Devon is still not here yet and he's late. I know how much of a tight schedule you're on, and we're really fortunate that you're even meeting with us. So.
Absolutely, no problem.
I'm here. Woo! Oh my God, between NIGHTCAP, school, work, Apollo, boys. You have
What
no
boys?
idea.
Well, I think I have some idea, but I understand things happen.
This man right here is the president and CEO of a foundation that helps many young people of color get opportunities. He is on the board of Media Impact Funders. He's an advisor at Princeton University. He's a part of a bunch of philanthropic organizations.
Oh my
He
God.
is doing the damn thing, Devon, and you should be here on time. If he could be here on time, you should be here extra early.
He's almost as busy as me. Wow. Well, I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry I was late. So let's hear what you have to say.
Actually, I'm here to hear what you have to say.
Really? Oh, I thought that's how the exchange goes. Let's hear what you have to say.
But I'm actually here to hear what you have to say.
But you a CEO, that's all like,
Hold on, I have to take this. I'm so sorry.
got it.
I apologize.
you got it, dude. It's an Austin reference from Full House.
Devon,
What?
in the world is wrong with you?
Wait, so you're really mad at me that I'm late? Okay, because if you want to get into a gag, let's talk about this is your first time being early in a long time, and that is the gag.
At least I show up and do my job like I'm supposed to and do what I have to do. You sit here and you talk to the CEO of a company and ask him, let's hear what you have to say?
Because I thought this was a brainstorming session, okay? He's the CEO. Isn't that what CEOs do? Well, actually, I don't know what CEOs do.
If you knew what CEOs did, you wouldn't be
I should
acting up
ask
like
him.
you're acting up right now. So just be quiet and let me do all the talking from here because you're messing things up for us and we do not need this right now.
You're not.
Everett, thank you. And I'm in the middle of something, so please hold the rest of my calls. Thanks.
Right. It's fine.
Sorry about that.
No, it's
I
fine.
get it. We relate.
We actually called you here, Dr. Harris, because we wanted to talk to you about what we think our next step should be. At this point in time, I'm finishing my sophomore year in college,
Awesome.
ending my internship at CNN.
Awesome.
I'm continuing, my studies with broadcast journalism, and last but not least, I started a chapter of the National Association of Black Journalists at my university. So I'm just, trying to be great, I guess you could say.
Yes. Be very great.
I'm
Girl. Oh. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna take this handle. Siri, could you please hold my calls until the end of the meeting?
What is your cousin's name?
I ain't asked you all of that. Anyways.
Devon, you are not going to do this here at this.
What?
Oh, goodness. See, you're doing this while Dr. Harris is here, and you did this before in the past when Jordan Riggs was here.
What? What did I do?
You was gyrating like Britney Spears or something.
I was not gyrating, okay? What I did was I gave Jordan a visual treatment album, like Lemonade, okay? I gave him the time of his life.
You also did that when your cousin and his friend were here. You told them to go jump off a cliff.
Who said that?
You said that.
I said that?
You said that.
All right, so you and Cliff can go jump off a cliff, to be honest. Girl, bye. So that's it. You're just gonna be mad at me for the rest of this time. You know what? I'll handle this right now. Siri, please block Beverly's number.
The phone number for Beverly woman with medium dark skin tone.
All right, anyways. Like I said.
That is the funniest.
Like I said.
It's like, which Beverly, the black one or?
Like I said, it's whatever. Be mad at me, I don't care.
You know what? I'm not mad at you because of all of your shenanigans, because I'm used to it. You're a diva. I'm just mad at the fact that the Career Day series is ending, and I actually really enjoyed it. I got so much from it, and so many young people are going to benefit from it. It's unfortunate.
Really? That sounds like a you problem, sweetie. Moving on. All right, go.
Anyway, if you've missed any of the previous shows, we posted them on our YouTube page. We are using this Career Day series to shine some light on careers that don't necessarily have a set path.
And no shade, Miss Future Journalist, but the media industry definitely falls into that category. I'm sure you are no stranger to the narrative of recent graduates who are unable to get a job in the media field.
You're absolutely correct.
I know I'm absolutely correct.
The media industry is so dynamic, and there are so many avenues a person can take, but unfortunately, some of them lead to dead ends, which is why we are capping No Night off this series with Rahsaan Harris, who has spent the span of his career being a compass for young people. 2 years ago, he was appointed president and CEO of the Bowen Foundation that helps pipeline youth of color to careers in media and technology. Now, I met Dr. Harris at an event called One Day Immersion for professionals in communications and media. He was electric and full of energy, and I'm like, wow, we need that on the show. Devon doesn't deliver, we need that. And you know, I'm like boring, so we need some excitement up in here.
I guess that explains why he's better than me, right?
You know I'm playing, Devon. You are a powerhouse on your own.
Thank you, girl. You're still boring.
I know, it's okay. Yes, and I didn't mention that he has a doctorate at the new school, okay? Master's degrees with an S, plural.
Plural,
From NYU
like the S on
and
my chest. I'm sorry.
NYU and Columbia University, and a bachelor's from Princeton. Check him out on LinkedIn. You will be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
All right. We get it.
And scrolling. No, seriously, if you're interested in pursuing a career in media, don't go anywhere, because we are going to show you a short clip of the Bowen Foundation, and then we're going to have a real meeting with Dr. Harris.
Dr. Harris.
Continue to be really impressed with how polished, how savvy, how confident, how sophisticated the students are that come out of this program. And Hearst Television will continue to be a great partner for Bowen.
This is really, really great, and I want to say a big and wonderful thank you to the Bowen Foundation for introducing us to these stellar, diverse students. They are scholars, top-notch.
Having exposure to the students for the past 4 years has really given me an opportunity to hear diverse perspectives as they come into our company. We have met incredible talent and also been fortunate enough to hire a lot of them into our organization in several different cities across the country.
Bowen brings together the most amazing, talented students and professionals, and to be able to interact with them, support them, make sure that everyone feels exposed to all the amazing companies out there that are looking for the best talent is really a privilege. So thanks Bowen for having us, and we're really, really excited to continue introducing great people to great jobs.
When I think of Bowen, I just think of opportunity. It's just something that I just won't be able to find anywhere else, and I'm so grateful for this experience.
I'm so happy and proud and blessed to be a part of the Bowen Foundation. I'm thankful for opportunities like having this amazing career fair and talking with all the biggest media companies in the world.
Bowen Foundation is about connecting these young people with mentors, with opportunities, and with each other, so together as a community, they can change the image and the narrative of how we think of ourselves. The Bowen Foundation is made possible by our sponsors, the people who believe in these young people, the people who are giving them the chance to thrive and to take risks. All of these companies together have made the 2016 Summer Conference something special. Together we're one community. We are EBF.
Well, your future begins right now here on NIGHTCAP, because with us is the president and CEO of the Bowen Foundation, Rahsaan Harris. Welcome, Rahsaan.
Well, thank you for having me. This is fantastic.
It's not every day we get to have a NIGHTCAP with the president and CEO, and I know your job is very important, but what do you do?
My job is simply to diversify media, to make sure that media and what culture is representative of all voices and all people here in America. So how do we do that? We get young people of color, so African American, Latino, Asian American, Native American, and we get them college internships at major media companies and technology companies, and that's a broad range. So everything from NBC Universal to HBO, anything from Aris, which is a former Motorola. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Motorola phones.
Yeah, the Razors. Oh,
yeah. So Motorola, from Comcast, who actually owns NBC Universal and owns the theme parks and everything else, to even PR companies. So Fleischman Hillard and Edelman, those are the folks that craft messages.
Awesome.
So you've been in this position for 2 years so far. Tell us, how's it been going?
It's fantastic.
Okay.
It's a little bit different for me because I am a veteran of nonprofits. So I used to work in philanthropy, and I used to be a teacher. So my whole career has been about educating others, about leadership development, giving people opportunities. And this is in media. So when I went to my interview, I had several interviews to get this job. I actually had to get in the elevator and go up to the C-level suite of these companies. And I actually was in the elevator with the owner of the New England Patriots when I was on my way to go interview for this job. And he was going to the same floor that I was going to. I was going to interview on one side, and he was going to meet with the CEO of CBS. So it was, in some levels, intimidating because it was a new space, but the thread that connected what I did as an educator to what I'm doing now is that it's about leveraging, ideas and inspiring folks to get to their higher self. You can do that on an individual level in teaching, but also within media, you can do that on a community and almost global level. I wanted to use different messages and different inspiration to let folks understand that people whom they might have seen as not being talented or folks that they wouldn't have given a chance to can do everything if they're given a chance. So it's really about changing hearts and minds through using media.
Okay, so tell us more about the mission of the Emma Bowen Foundation and how it is achieved.
So Emma Bowen is an actual person. She was an advocate in Harlem, and during the 80s, she went and she told the broadcasters, so CBS and NBC and ABC and Fox, that she wanted to change the images of black people in the news. So during the 80s, the image of Bronx was the Bronx is burning, and you would send up a white reporter, and they would go and they would talk about what's going on here. She wanted black reporters telling stories of black communities, but she also wanted to make sure that folks knew that the black story wasn't just the Bronx is burning story. It's about businessmen and women and clergy and folks that are lawyers and doctors. And so that was the beginning of the Emma Bowen Foundation. And so at its core was changing the image of people of color. And now we know we accomplish that by making sure people of color are hired, making sure that they stay within the industry, and make sure they get to decision-making levels. So if at the table making decisions, they change the story and hopefully make it more inclusive.
So since the Emma Bowen Foundation's inception, you've provided over 800 students with internships. That's amazing, and that's truly an accomplishment. I commend you all for that. What is the success rate of those who have gone through the program and finding a job in the media industry? Because we all know that internships, we want to lead to jobs, so how do
very much.
Exactly, how do you do that?
Exactly, and I definitely know that for the two of you, that's also very personally interesting because you want to make sure that all the jobs that you have now lead to careers. So we did alumni research, and we found out that at least 72% of our alumni at one point had worked within the media industry. So that was great. A lot of folks were getting jobs, and we're getting really serious about this not just being exposure. I think early on in our history, it was just get people of color exposure to these industries, and the industry gets exposure to them, and hopefully something happens. Now we're really intentional, making sure that when they leave, that they're evaluated, is Jose hireable? Does he have hireable writing skills? Does he have hireable team building skills? Does he have hireable coding skills? So that the company and Jose are thinking about what the future is. And so when they leave for their last exit interview, hopefully it's when you come back next year, this is who you interview with to get a job.
What do you attribute to such a high success rate?
So we've been around since 1989. So first and foremost, we have real deep relationships with the industry. Oh my God. So that's number one, relationships matter. Number two, I think, is a commitment to best practices, making sure that we prepare the young folks so that they're ready. And then the other part is really hopefully holding industry accountable for hiring these young folks and not making this charity, but making this a true pipeline for their future.
So I read an article on Forbes about the evolution of internships. It pointed out that while the concept of internships date back to the 11th and 12th centuries, it didn't become a popular practice until the late 70s and 80s. It's around that time when colleges and universities began offering students course credits for them. Internships, as you know, are a commonplace now, which brings me to the real point of this article, because it asserts that as a result, changes have taken place, not necessarily for the better. One person warns that some people aren't properly motivated, that you have a whole lot of students now who do a whole lot of internships only because they need work experience on their records, on their resumes, or what have you. They also went on to say that these students are more likely to take internships that don't advance their careers. What are your thoughts on this? How do you feel about students necessarily having to have a certain amount of internships in order to make it in their industry?
Like anything you do in life, it has to be meaningful.
Okay.
If you're not dedicated and committed to it, it's not going to work. So internships need to be apprenticeships. Apprenticeships you're talking about in, I guess, the 11th and 12th century were really about teaching folks a skill and a craft so that they can continue the lineage of it. So there's a true transfer of knowledge and information. If you're doing it as an internship just to be on your record and someone's sitting in a cubicle going to get somebody coffee and at the copying machine, you're not really learning a true skill. And so therefore I think people lose their interest. So I think internships just to have another name on your resume aren't as meaningful as people really getting in and having great experiences.
Right.
So student organizations are running the treasury at your church or your mosque, doing things that really teach you real skills. Running your own app could be more valuable than an internship if you can do actual skills. So when you're in an internship and you don't necessarily have a great manager, it's really important to really ask questions and go beyond and above and beyond what's really right in front of you. Figure out ways you can add value without being a pest. And that's what's really the most meaningful, because if you show up to your next job and you don't know how to do anything except go get coffee or run the copying machine, then you're not adding value and you're not going to get a real job.
Sure.
Yeah. So do you believe that there's such thing as too many internships?
Yes, there can be too many internships because if you don't have any deep relationships anywhere, then no one can truly vouch for you.
Sure.
I think the ultimate way to get a job, there are really two factors. Number one is your skill set, so what you know and what you can actually do. But number two is a true relationship.
Yeah.
Someone can vouch for you and trust you.
That's
As
very
people,
proud of me and Beverly.
they-
I'm very proud of me and Beverly. We built a really big relationship
Yes.
at the Apollo after the internship.
So that's really important. So you hire people you know. If you look at tons of resumes and they all have the same skill set, who are you going to hire? The folks that you can trust
Right.
and the folks that you know that you can depend on. So
Exactly.
if you have too many internships and you're flying all over the place, if they don't know who you are as well, that's not as great as a place where you can go deep and hopefully got a lot of skills from.
Right. So when do you think a student should start interning?
I think people should start as soon as they possibly can.
Okay.
I think, again, if you build your skills, then you can do whatever you want to. And I mean, I think formal internships are great, but I think also being entrepreneurial is great. So if you can start a newspaper route, if you can sell lemonade or sell water bottles out on a hot summer day.
Sell lemonade.
Lemonade.
Or if you can invent it, like Bianca.
So it's really important to learn those skills because you recognize how to manage yourself, how to interact with potential customers, how to manage money. That gives you a real skill set that hopefully you can put on your resume. And then hopefully if an organization feels like they want those skills, that you go into it. But I think as soon as somebody feels ready and has a desire to try to be in a business and marketplace, they should try it.
And I think that's a really good answer because everyone's different. You know, the time that I'm ready to intern might not be the same time for someone else. So
I think
it's all about when
again,
you're ready.
At the end of the day, when you're ready and being authentic, like if you go to a place when you're not ready, like anything, it's not going to work out. If you try to force a relationship when you're not ready, it's not going to work out. If you try to, I'm going to do this workout plan and I'm going to start this diet right now, if you're not ready, it's not going to work out. So you have to do things when you're authentically committed and doing it. And in regards to thinking about, am I doing internships to get into college or I'm doing internships to, to get a job later, folks can always sniff out what's thin and weak on a resume versus what you're really committed to. So you really shouldn't rush things that you're not dedicated to, because ultimately folks who are evaluating you that are paying attention will be able to sniff it out.
I would love for that to be like an article in like Essence magazine. It's not gonna work out, and just like this list of things that are not gonna work out if you're not ready for it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You should get started on that. Just
You
We'll
should.
try. We'll try. We'll collaborate.
Ooh, I like that.
I like
Yes.
that. Okay. Do you think that interning is still an effective tool for career advancement, particularly in the media industry?
Yes. To advance, you need to have folks who co-sign on you.
Yeah.
So there's something as a mentor, and folks can get mentorship. You can ask somebody to show you the ropes and tell you about experiences. And I think mentorship is great. But what's even more powerful in some instances is getting a sponsor. Because sponsors are usually people who have control over resources, they have control over opportunities, and they can open the door for you. So interning and finding folks that might potentially be your sponsor, that might be the person that sees your resume in a pack and pulls that out. And I was like, I know Devon, I know Beverly.
That's true.
Iconic.
And so therefore I'm gonna put that through. So.
Yeah, that's true. So another change is that some use internships as a way to test drive certain careers that they might not know if they're interested in or if they're strong in, whereas back in the day they did it because it was going to be their career ultimately. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on this?
Interesting. So it's not a straightforward, answer to the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because some people might go into an internship and I'm working for a media company or I'm working for a tech company and I had a bad experience. So that means I'm not going to work in a tech company ever.
Ever again? Yeah.
But the reality is one experience is one experience, so it doesn't necessarily tell you what your whole life is. And interning might be different from actually working there. So an internship experience should really be taken with a grain of salt, really evaluate, did I have a good manager? Did I really get to do the tasks that are really part of this career? Versus, maybe I was only sent to the copy machine and to go get coffee. Right. And so that shouldn't necessarily turn you off. But I do think it is really great to be exposed to an environment that your career might be in. But you can't always say that what I did as an internship was going to be for what I'm going to do for my career, so I'm going to hate it. I think you really need to do a lot more research than that to really understand it. So it can give you some clues, but it's not the end all be all.
I can definitely relate. So working at CNN right now, I sometimes feel like politics isn't my thing. With all that's going on and I'm like the government right now, I'm like, maybe I should step away. Maybe I should focus on general news. But then sometimes I'm like, I'm young. I still have time to see if politics is something I potentially want to go into, if it's general news, entertainment.
Can it be known that her emails, will you show me your emails? Her emails are amazingly long and full of so much stuff. And she's always like, it is so great to see her work. It's so great.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay, now according to the article, one of the things that have remained the same is that employers still use internship as recruiting tools. Do you agree, or is it now just a low-cost way to meet work demands?
So this is great. So again, not one size fits all, but some companies literally decide where they're going to put interns based off of where they see potential job openings coming. So that's called pipelining. So some companies say, all right, we're going to put one intern in marketing and sales, we'll put one intern in production, because we know 2 years from now, I'm going to need an entry-level position there. So therefore, there's a connection from the internship to a job. So yes, they're really actually doing it as a test run. Some other places do it more as community service, and they're just like, all right, just put an intern wherever someone take it. But so I think that's an interesting question if you're going for an interview to intern somewhere. I want to understand, is your internship program a pipeline program that leads to entry-level spots? Or are there a lot of entry-level hires that you do on an annual basis? Because that will give you a sense of what kind of company you're interning at and if that's going to lead to something. So there's not like a one-size-fits-all, but some of our partners are very clear that their interns are only in places where they're going to be hiring within the next 2 to 3 years.
Right. So do you think the way companies weigh internships have changed over time?
Absolutely, especially on issues of diversity. I think a lot of places aren't diverse because they don't know folks who are different from them, because they're not in their neighborhoods, they're not in their clubs, they didn't go to school with them. So an internship program is a great way to try to diversify the pipeline from the bottom.
Okay.
And so they can find diverse talent by targeting HBCUs or going to different communities and giving young people of color an opportunity to get into their community. And then if they're a pipelining type of an institution, then the next step can be, offering that person a job in the entry-level position. So it's definitely a serious mechanism for some companies to accomplish their business goals, because right now diversity isn't something that's nice to do. If you're going to expand new markets and get new money, you got to find a way to talk to different folks.
Yeah. On the topic of change, one of the reasons the founder Emma Bowen started this foundation was to give young people of color the same opportunity as their white counterparts. Yes. So, would you say the landscape for people of color have changed in the media industry, considering that right now the Times, CNN, and Fox News are being sued for racial discrimination?
So, there's been a lot of change, and there's been no change in some regards. Relax. So, for example, we had our first African American president. We have CEOs like, Ken Chanel, and we had, Dick Parsons. We had, Darren Walker, the black CEO of the Ford Foundation. So we are getting to places we've never been before. But then you also see issues of discrimination. Fox News has recently sued Bill O'Reilly for women discrimination and harassment in the workplace.
And Kelly Wright too,
and that's one of the reasons why Megyn Kelly potentially left because of those kind of issues there. So there's change, but then there are also struggles in any space. I would say, in particular with internships, a lot of folks get internships because a family member worked at that place and they got referred. So now that people are thinking about issues of diversity, at least it creates another pipeline for folks to get opportunity.
Yeah.
So those executive referrals still happen. If your mom, dad, or uncle or aunt works at a place, they can get you an internship. But there are also more opportunities for people of color to get into those spaces, even though their parents or relatives didn't work there too. So, there's still much more to be done, but there are definitely improvements than what used to be in the past.
So unfortunately, women are still minorities in certain news organizations or media organizations at that, and women of color, as we know. So would you say that their representation has changed in the media industry?
So for people of color, for women, there have definitely been some changes, but I think you might have remembered, Kathy Couric had the news desk for CBS as a woman anchor. Yeah. And it only lasted for a little while. She couldn't hold it. And now, all of the news anchors that are for the major networks in the evening news are male. So there's definitely still room for improvement. But there are also gains because, folks like Megyn Kelly gets a big deal to move over. You might feel one way or another about that. You see, people that are huge personality like Robin Roberts over, Good Morning America.
That always blows my mind. When I watch Good Morning America, I'm like, oh my God.
And the diversity that they have. Absolutely. And look at a Gayle King on CBS.
Yeah.
No, honestly, right.
And unless they're Holt on NBC. So you have, diversity that's, ethnic and racial. You also have gender diversity that happens in certain spaces, but there are definitely spaces where it's still needed, and I think we can't stop fighting. And when you fight, it's not because you're trying to shame others and saying that they're malintended, but hopefully you're saying, look, we can do better together, and here are some potential solutions to help them get to answers.
Yeah. Another reason Emma Bowen turned her attention to the media industry was because of her concern with the negative way people of color were portrayed in the media. Do you feel there been any advancements?
So yes, there have been some advancements.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
it's a good question.
Got a little tripped up on my words,
but there's a way to go.
Especially with the Emma Bowen Foundation.
Absolutely, no. so you have shows like Jane the Virgin and Blackish and Fresh Off the Boat and different images of folks of color.
Right.
You know, you have Laverne Cox playing like a straight up lawyer on the show on CBS. You know, as a trans woman doing it. So you have different images of folks are being able to be seen differently and as positive images. But then at the same time, you also have a lot of people of color being demonized and, you know, images of, you know, and thoughts of xenophobia and wanting to build walls instead of building bridges and keeping people out because folks are scared. And it's interesting too, in this day and age, crime in many ways is at all-time low. But, you know, a president was elected on a, you know, law and order and fear kind of platform. And so that shows that the images of what's, you know, happening out there and what folks think about folks that they consider other is a lot different than reality. And I think media has a job in helping to bridge the gap of making folks realize what's the truth out there.
Bringing it back, I just want to ask you this quickly. Did you watch that show with Laverne Cox?
I didn't, and I should have.
I was like, I'm not, because I was proud of her, but I was like, it's gonna get the axe, and it did.
Yikes.
But like after 2 weeks, and that sucked. But I was like, I knew it was gonna happen.
But I mean, but I was really excited about it. I'd like, you know, watching her on the morning shows and talking about it, and I guess it wasn't on long enough for me to see it.
Yeah,
but
it only
but the
lasted
fact,
2 weeks.
but
2
putting
weeks,
but
y'all.
putting out the image in the first place
Was amazing.
was
yeah.
everything. And you know what? It makes the next time that it gets proposed, it's not going to make it that big of a deal.
Yeah. Because I heard she's gonna star in another show next season. So
No,
it's all
Laverne,
good.
no, she's gonna keep making money. So
Yeah.
she's good.
So throughout your career, you've been involved with the advancement of people of color in media and technology. Thank you so much for all that you've done.
Yes.
You're awesome. So why did you choose to champion this cause?
I think it's part of the legacy that I got from my parents.
Oh, wow.
So my mom has been a career educator. My dad's been involved in politics and the community level, and particularly about Black people. And I love connecting with folks, like connecting with the two of y'all. You know, getting to see what's going on with folks, what they're feeling, what they're thinking. And so, you know, having the opportunity to spend time with people, figure out what gets them motivated and passionate is what I love to do. And when you can do that to scale, you know, technology, being on platforms like, you know, Twitter and Snapchat, Instagram, you get to get at people and influence them, sometimes for the bad, but most of the time hopefully for the good. And then also definitely media in general, when you get to put out different images and views of people of color, hopefully you can bring people together.
So let me just say one thing.
Okay.
You look just like LeVar Burton, and I can't get it out of my head, and like I can't unsee it. It's like once you see it, you can't. You know.
Now I'm lost because I don't
Though
know who this person is.
Jordy from Star Trek, the Next Generation, the guy that did the Reading Rainbow, Kunta Kinte.
Oh, the Reading Rainbow! Oh, Roots! Oh no, Beverly.
What?
But you know, wait, did you see my Instagram feed? And I put that question out there.
Y'all know Beverly is
So
wrong.
seriously, so literally, I was on vacation,
Okay.
was going for a run. 2 women stopped me, and they said, "Oh my God, I don't want to embarrass you,
Like,
but
oh my
like,
God.
but it's so great to see you, Mr. Reading Rainbow, Mr. Roots. Like, I want to take a picture with you."
Not
And
Mr. Roots.
Not Mr. Roots.
I mean, they say it like that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They didn't call me Kunta Kinte.
Of course.
Oh my God, I would die
But
if they called you Kunta. Like,
I was like, no, it's not me, but I'll take a picture with y'all anyway. So I literally have gotten that before.
That's so funny.
I mean, he doesn't have my
so
haircut.
wrong.
but
Yeah.
So wrong.
It's true. Listen, truth will set you free.
Okay, anyways, as it was mentioned earlier, you have a master's degree. Master's degrees with an S. But do you feel that advanced degrees are necessary for the media field?
And I got a PhD too.
Oh,
So,
Devon,
doctor. So, not necessary, but can be very helpful.
Yeah, it comes in handy.
And so, what I would say is, you know, a lot of people who go straight from undergrad to grad school, I do not suggest that. I think taking like a gap year and figuring out what you want to do and what you want to specialize in really matters, because I think the undergrad is given, you got to get it. the master's degree, you need to really figure out what you want to master and what you're going to become an expert at. And I think really knowing yourself is really important for that. And for me, getting a PhD, I really loved learning and research and going deep on a subject. So I actually did my dissertation on understanding Black philanthropy. Do Black people give more like other Black people regardless of socioeconomic status, or do they give like their similarly situated white peers? So am I more likely to give like a middle-class white person, or am I more likely to give like a poor cousin of mine that might live in like, you know, the outskirts of Charleston, South Carolina? And so just trying to understand the intersection of race and class is something I really want to go deep on. And you know, my PhD gave me the opportunity to do that. And now I have an opportunity to speak more expertly, or at least I have an approach to trying to find information that folks respect. And you know, that's what I find the value of my degree.
So we also mentioned earlier that some media tracks lead to dead ends. So what are some of the ones that people of color you think should be pursuing?
So the Emma Bowen Foundation has 3 areas that we really want people to understand. The content of media, so all the stuff we're doing here, folks that are behind the camera, running the teleprompters, the sound, production, in front of the camera. That's the content of media, and that there are a lot of different jobs there. You don't necessarily have to be in front of the camera. I think that's great. But in front of the camera, they're the least amount of jobs. I think the production of putting this together, there are tons of other jobs that are associated with it, so I think people should consider it. There's the business of media, so folks who sell the ads and the media time, people that do human resources to make sure that no one's harassed in the office.
No one's
harassed in the office. Folks that do the government relations and parts that keep business running, audits and counting the money and bringing in the money. And then lastly, there's the innovation of media. So that's folks who are doing coding and engineering and big data that helps to figure out how to target messages by having advanced analytics and technology, allow folks to meet people in different ways. So I think there's not one space that's a dead end, but I think if you can have at least 2, if you're in a content of media but understand the business of media, or if you're in the business of media but understand the innovation and technology of media, that you'll always be able to navigate and find jobs within these larger companies and have a successful career. If you do one thing and only know one thing, it's easier for folks to pigeonhole you and for you to be excluded. If you can do multiple tasks and have multiple areas of interest, then there's always a way for you to find an opportunity.
That's actually why I decided to major in communications and opposed to journalism, because I feel like journalism is really just one area of knowing how to read and write and speak in front of the camera, and opposed to like communications where you know how to be a marketer or a PR person or advertising, film, all of that. So I feel like what you said was really important in that.
And one thing I want to say to that particularly is, if you want to stay in media, always understand the money. You can be talented and be interesting, but if you understand the money, you will always have a career. So a lot of folks who run stations, are general managers of stations, they come up on the sales side, because the sales side is the money side. So then later they're able to make decisions about the whole stations and how they're run and what talent gets in and on. So you don't necessarily see folks that are news reporters going and running stations. It's folks that understand the money that end up running and deciding what the content is later. So I think it's something that's really important to understand.
So the money side is the money side.
The money side is the money side.
We trying to get on the money side, ladies and gentlemen.
Money side. So unfortunately, we're running out of time. So to wrap things up, I want to ask you, what are some of the do's and don'ts when interning?
Always.
I need to write this down.
Yes.
I got a pen.
Get ready.
Get your pen.
Be ready. Be early is on time.
Okay.
Always dress at least one level above what's going on is expected. So for example, if you see some person in the place and they're in jeans, don't always assume that you can wear jeans.
Okay.
You know, always dress in price. Don't dress 3 or 4 levels above, because then folks are thinking like, who's this kid think they are? But you don't want to be the lowest, but you definitely don't want to be the highest. You want to be somewhere that's really appropriate. And ultimately, recognize that people are busy. So don't get upset and think that they're there for you. Always think about what you can do to make their lives better and easier. And so your learning is part of making their lives better and easier. And if you're thinking about what's in it for them more than what's in it for you, you'll always be guided by the right thing.
I like that a
And in
lot.
terms of dressing, Beverly gives looks always at CNN, so she's fine. Like you're totally fine. Like you serve looks.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so oftentimes students, unfortunately like myself, go for internships at top companies, which has its advantages and disadvantages. What are your thoughts on interning at maybe like a small public access company or like, you know, like a smaller media company?
I cannot stress enough, what you know how to do is more important than the name brand of a place where you are. So I think some of the best experiences are at smaller spaces that give you more hands-on access to do all parts of a process, because people who are in those spaces have more opportunity to learn skills. Folks at those larger places sometimes don't really get to do much stuff because of the layers of bureaucracy, and they don't let you do things. So I'd almost say it's a better experience to intern at a smaller shop than a larger shop, because you can really develop some great skills. The key is that once you've gotten those skills, to really be able to articulate that to the people who you're interviewing with for a job full-time later, so you recognize that you didn't just go to a space and just have the name on the resume, but you really know how to do the work.
Yes. Where can people go if they would like to learn more about the Emma Bowen Foundation?
I'm so glad that you asked. People can go to www.emmabowenfoundation.com. So that is EMMABOWENFOUNDATION.com.
There you have it.
Your stuff.
Yes, he does. Well, Rahsaan, thank you so much. Honestly, I couldn't have thought of anyone better to have to end this Career Day series.
Yes.
And good job, Bev.
Thank you.
Good job, because Bev hooked us up.
Yes,
Great job.
This is the result of networking, y'all.
Hello.
And now that I think about it, this shows the perfect segue into the professional development series we've got cooking.
Ah, you're going to tell them what's in store, what's in the pots and the pans for later? Yeah?
I can't do all that, but let's just say we're going to give you all the ingredients that you need to get that internship or job.
Get that coin. Got that check. Okay. Okay, so I know you told me to write a treatment.
Yeah.
Didn't write a treatment. Didn't really care for writing a treatment. You know, it's just like up here. And this mind is about to blow your mind. Like mine's gonna blow you. Just like move, like way back, like right here. Oh, that's good. And like make sure like you're standing and watching. It's like heads this way. There you go. All right.
Okay.
Let's go. Roll my clip. Let's do this. Come on. Come back out here, Jordan, since you left me the first time when you hated on my music video.
It was good though.
He began with, don't even give me
Okay.
that. He began his directing career with the directing group High Five Collective. In 2011, the team created unofficial music videos for some of their favorite artists like The Weeknd, Tyler the Creator, and Trash Talk. Their success in the unofficial space quickly led to the official videos in a contract with Partisan LA. After working for a few years on several projects, the group split up following their individual goals. And currently, Jordan is living in Brooklyn, New York, working on his narrative projects. The Union, a television pilot he created, wow, was recently accepted into the New York Television Festival. And he is working on producing his first feature film, All Saints. Thank you so much for coming, Jordan.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for denying my music video, Jordan.
It wasn't that good.
What's going on? What's happening here? Are you trying to take my part?
Okay, honey, it's not stealing.
No,
It's
it's not like that. He wanted the role.
So
he
what is
wanted to be something better.
Better?
Oh, wait, hold up, Beverly. Please tell them that I did not want this to be better, honey.
You know what?
The acting team
We're
is
gonna
already
sit here
better.
and just
okay,
sit
this may be
so
coffee, but
thing.
that's the tea.
Because what we do
Let
is
them
we
know.
host.
We host, but I will also host by reading the girl.
That's cute.
Okay.
Yeah. Just wanted to give him a
Yeah. Thank you for the chance.
Yeah.
He's good. Thank you. Welcome to another installment of NIGHTCAP's Career Day series, where we seek to give you, the viewer, a rare peek into non-traditional career paths.
Yes.
If you have not been following this series, then you know we opened it with a music video director and filmmaker, Jordan Ray.
Yes, and if you recall, that's the show that Beverly abandoned me for. I was all by myself because she wanted to go off and mentor and go on a nice vacation in a nice hotel with people serving.
My mentee needed me. Actually, now I have 3.
Oh, ain't no Rihanna, okay? I needed you. Don't let it happen again. Anyway.
On this show, we have another filmmaker, but she, okay, S-H-E,
she
is representing for all the women directors out there. 22-year-old Brianna Abdullah started making movies in her teens, and in just a span of 3 years, she has under her belt a number of short films, including First Love, Clasp, Wanna Fix a Flat, and most recently, Bittersweet.
Yes, the scene you saw me slay at the start of the show before we were rudely interrupted is the From the Film, which stars actor Omari Smith, who was really great in the film, but not better than me in this. Let's skip.
Hi, you must be Aaron.
Hi, and you must be...
Rose. Yeah, that's me.
Rose, right. Yeah.
And you got me a rose. Oh, how ironic.
After you?
Wait. Stay right there.
Oh.
Come out.
Okay.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This is new. Don't ever push me.
I'm really sad to say this, but you guys look like the people from the morning show modeling, and that's horrible.
I think this is NIGHTCAP. Pretty sure it's NIGHTCAP, not the morning. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, NIGHTCAP or not, you didn't do good.
So how exactly do you want us to model then?
Just get me LaBeija.
So we're dismissed? We are having a little fun as we continue our Career Day series, and on this show we are highlighting 23-year-old Jason Ofori. I'm sure you've guessed it by now that Jason is a fashion designer. Born in Ghana, Jason started realizing he had a thing for fashion when he would take his older sister's magazines to look at what's trending and to see how the guys dressed to impress the ladies. His childhood curiosity developed into him launching Ataria NYC. How would you describe the fashion of Ataria?
Okay.
And who is it for?
Our brand is basically like a European style of African clothes. So we're trying one day, hopefully later in the year, maybe I'll give it 4 years. We're gonna try to open up a store. That's my dream, to open up a store for tourists to come and buy African clothing, because you don't see that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they're coming and seeing a nice fitted blazer for them, and it has African print on it, and they could take it back to Spain or wherever they're coming from.
That's an amazing idea.
Yeah, that's very smart.
Could do better than that. I don't like that. No. Just turn your shoulder, all the way around, all up to over there. Don't see your face. Yep. Sweetie, excuse me. Let me show you how much the cameras love me. This is how you do it, Beverly. You have to become one with your space. Become the ladder. That's why it's here. Sweetheart, you sit on it. I can't sit on it right now, but yes.
Excuse me, step aside.
Oh.
I'm going to show you how a real professional does it.
Okay.
On this show, we have 21-year-old IG Okafor. One of the reasons we are so interested in getting him on this show is because his career endeavor is an example of how to make your innate interest marketable. IG took his love for fashion and personal style, which started in the 6th grade, trained his eye for aesthetics and coupled it with his academic training in marketing, resulting in a blossoming career as a menswear fashion blogger where he uses words and pictures to showcase and market his love. And as you saw earlier, he also models. Can someone please bring the gentleman downstairs?
We don't really care.
He doesn't care about his cousin and his cousin's friend. Someone bring the gentleman over. Here they are.
Hey, cuz.
Don't cuz me. I'm sitting in director's chair. We are not cousins. I'm your employer. Don't do that.
And you must be Beverly.
Yes, I am.
Nice to meet you,
Nice
man.
to meet you.
I know who you are. I know you. I know.
We're really
I'm
big
happy to
fans
be
of the
here.
show.
Nice
Oh,
to
you
meet
are?
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for supporting the show and watching. Well,
Great.
okay, well, do your thing.
Okay.
No. Was this like a meet and greet or something? Because I thought this was an audition. Listen, I have other people waiting downstairs.
Wait, are they coming later? Because we were the only ones
Yeah,
downstairs.
there wasn't anybody else.
Oh,
down
so
there.
on account of the fact that I can't count. Nah, I can't count. I can't read. I can't write. I can't count. All right, cool.
You guys should just go ahead and
I'm gonna just sip this water. Y'all should go ahead. It's you wasted enough time.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Is something wrong with your cousin?
I don't know why
That's
he's
not my
acting
cousin.
like that.
I'm his employer. Let's do this.
Okay.
I'm only here because of you. Just.
It's all good. Let's just.
All right.
All right, let's get it going, Idris Nalba.
Yo, why would you bring me here?
I need a favor.
And that is?
I killed Raina 2 weeks ago.
You?
I know
you
you're
did-
in major shock, but I had to. She attacked me, and I knew nothing but to defend myself.
You're sick, man.
Maybe.
Okay.
Look,
Well, at least we know you can read, right? I mean, come on. Like, at least we know they can read a little bit of English.
I am so sorry. Y'all are doing an amazing job. I apologize on behalf of NIGHTCAP, and I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with Devon today. He is not himself, clearly, but I'm very sorry.
Now I am super excited about the talent we are highlighting on this show today. Shout out to all my thespians because we have Jared Kemp and Clifton Contreras who are truly rising stars.
You may recognize these two from the hit Netflix series that features the first black superhero. Yes, I'm talking about Luke Cage. Jared played the teenage Willis Stryker, and Clifton played the teenage Carl Lucas.
Hey, switch it up. See that shit coming from a mile away. Stop cursing at me. Oh, now you sound like your old man. Don't start with that sweet Christmas shit. Give me 4. Let's go. Harder, where's your offense? This ain't patty cake. Yeah. Yeah, that's that shit. Now give me 5 and an uppercut. Let's go. Keep it going, keep it going. Should have stuck the football, huh? Time. Why are you doing this, Carl? Because some fool smacked you up in front of a bowling alley? You're gonna get yourself killed.
I'm gonna get this dude, Willis. It's about respect.
City champs, Carl. My arm, your legs. Got nothing to prove, all right? You're running around here acting stupid, man. Get yourself hurt.
You would understand. I can't let it slide. I'm a Lucas.
Daddy ain't signing off on this. You're alone.
I still got you in my corner?
Always.
Then I'm not alone. I'm ready.
You ain't ready, Carl.
just representing who you are?
Do you often feel voiceless and that your story isn't being portrayed in dominant media?
I feel voiceless. Where the heck is my story?
Do you want to pursue a career in video editing and journalism, but don't know where to start? If you're between the ages of 18 to 24, well, you've come to the right place.
Here at the Youth Media Center, we work to produce videos about cultural and social justice issues. Our interns are eligible to receive credit for their work and advance to paid internships.
Oh my goodness gracious, I'm gonna need more time to finish this.
This internship has a 3-day turnaround. That means you submit your film project 3 days after filming. Or else.
At our state-of-the-art professional facilities, we produce in-depth media by providing an alternative to the stories portrayed by dominant media. We also certify you in using Adobe Premiere Pro. The Youth Channel, a place for fun, experience, diversity, and representation. Apply today to our digital journalism internship. Go to www.mnn.org/youth or follow us on our social media pages.